So I met another squirrel. Her name is Saphira. She is Zyla's mom. She got a heart on her chest, and she's pretty cool. She got blue eyes. And I did learn a lot making her. I unwrapped her in a better way, making less seams. I had help from my dad Roddy for sewing. She took both of us 12 7-hour work days to finish, and I'm pretty proud of her. She adheres to the squirrel shape better. She's bigger, and I love her. Love Zyla too. She's got more prominent thighs and a higher belly to make her legs stick out more. She can climb trees. She breathes fire. Her fur is cut in a neat way to make a pattern around the eye. She got longer fur. She got hearts on her feet too. Her ears have foam in them to help them stick up. Everything is sewed to where it should be. In the process of making her, I learned more and improved my craft. But there wasn't very much geometrically new to my process. Pretty much everything was covered in my last video. So instead, in this video, let's learn about something completely different. This is a 3D grid with X, Y, and Z axi. This is a point on the 3D grid. I can move the point around however I like. I can only animate one point at a time, but when I play it back, I can make them move at the same time. This is a 2D square. It is made up of 4 points. Now say I wanted to move the square along the x-axis. How would I do it? Well, I could move one vertex at a time, like this, but that just seems like so much effort. It would be so much easier, 4 times easier, in fact, if we could just move it like a single point moves. Just move it from there to there. This is where relativity comes in. Ha ha ha! I make the 4 points relative to this 1 point. Therefore, I only need to move that 1 point, and the other 4 points go along with it. The other 4 points have not moved at all, but it's relative to the top point instead of relative to the 3D grid. And the top point is moving relative to the 3D grid. When I render the animation, you don't see the grid or the points, and it looks like this. I can also rotate the top point around as well, and the 4 points stay in the same relative position. Let's get a bit more complicated. This is Cubella. Take a moment to see how the movement of just a few vertices changes her expression and mood wildly. Right now, all of her points move relative to the top point, and the top point moves relative to the center of the 3D grid. Let's make her walk. But how would I do that? Moving each point singularly to eventually create a walking motion? Nah, that would take way too long, fam. Instead, let's get more relative. All the right foot points move relative to this point, and all the left foot points move relative to this point. Now I'll start moving the right point. And start moving the left point, and then throw some rotation in there for good measure. And lastly, move the top point to give her a little swing in her step. A wise man once said the point to walking is to move forward. But I'd argue the point to walking is to enjoy the process. But anyways, let's move this little guy forward. But how do we move her forward? She got 3 whole points moving forward. That's way too much work, man. It would be even 3 times more convenient if we could just move 1 point forward. How do we do that? That's right, now we're moving these 3 points relative to this point. Now all that's left to do is move that 1 point forward. Ta-da! Now when we render it, it looks like this. Nah, that's trivial. It looks like this. Nice walk on there, Cubella. In Blender, these points are called bones. And instead of looking like this, they look like this. And they can connect to each other like this. A group of bones that comes together to control a character is called an armature. And when you animate the armature, you can do stuff like this.